gain a pound.
Yeah.
We're not doing diuretics.
That
Brother.
That little turd burger was like 4'11"
Uh-huh.
in 155 pounds.
Yeah.
Now he's 5'8" in 155 pounds.
Yeah. So no.
I don't think I don't think they put him on that. I just think
Where's he from?
Jersey.
Yeah.
He's from Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Jersey.
Yeah.
He didn't grow that much though. I was like big Alfred D'Elia in my mind, he is not 5'8".
No.
Like something got lost in the sauce.
He's
there.
like Joey Diaz. That's what you think of.
Yeah. I would imagine like Big Al D'Elia, like from the kid that I saw as a little leaguer who hits dangers, he should be like a mountain of a man.
Yes.
Like he should be like 6'4".
Yeah.
And
The
280
largest Italian
pounds.
that's ever existed.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's not.
He's a
just
center on their basketball team.
he needs to grow a mustache is what he needs.
Mm.
That's final answer there.
Maybe he doesn't want to look like a conquistador.
Not everybody has that in their bag.
Yeah, also, he's Italian, not Spanish.
I had
They look the same.
Wow. I feel like this is anti-Italian.
I'm Italian.
language
I
here.
can say that.
I love that. Like that one always good. Hey, I'm Ortner.
Ortner.
Of
Very strong Italian.
me
man.
and my red
I
beard.
call my grandma Nana. That is Italian for grandmother. I can say that. I'm a Dozier.
All right.
I think that's Italian.
That
with a
doesn't.
Z.
No, it doesn't end in a vowel.
There's an R. I don't know.
What are you
Well,
doing?
now I feel like you're attacking the Italians. It doesn't have to end in
Hey,
a vowel. You don't know that.
I'm Italian. I can say that.
We're both Italian?
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, look at me. I look like Mario.
Dozier
over
is in
here.
Dozier.
That's
Yeah.
Can I
That's
guess?
German.
Oh, so Ortner.
Well, no, there's an Italian in there somewhere.
Brother.
Yeah, all right.
That is Germanic.
All right.
Well, maybe I'm just very German. I don't know.
You think?
There's a lot of axis of evil coming in from over on that side of the glass.
Over on this side?
Yeah.
You're sitting with the king.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm just talking about the German and Italian guy over there. All right. Come on, bud.
Whoa. Well, we were over here by then.
We have some Blazers news we need to get to as well.
Indeed.
Oh, so you're saying that you're spies? I've seen the Americans. You're not gonna
Those
slip
were
this one past
again.
me.
Those were Russians.
But I've
Nicely done, yeah.
seen how spies work. I've seen the movies or TV show. I've seen that. And Kerry Russell,
Still got it.
goodness gracious.
Still got it.
Yeah, she can take all the secrets. We've got some Blazer news today. That is Danny McScoops over there.
Hey.
Danny McScoops. We've got some scoops that we'll be sharing with you at 1:00 as it pertains to the hometown team.
Indeed.
And maybe where you may be watching them in the future.
Indeed.
Because I doubt people are going to be going to Moda for the final couple games.
Well, it is fan celebration or whatever they have. And I bet you they'll be pretty cheap.
Yeah. Do we get Joel Embiid back tonight and what to expect out of the MVP? That's on the docket today. Plus, I got a question for all the peeps out there. I don't want this one to get skewed by people putting on their green and yellow glasses in the area. Because Daniel Jeremiah posed a question that I was like, oh, well, that actually is tougher. Daniel Jeremiah, NFL draft guy, he asked for NFL Network, he asked Bucky or Blake? Bucky Irving or Blake Corum? Who you taking? And that was a tougher question than I thought it would be in my mind, because immediately I wanted to go towards Blake Corum, and then I'm in a pretzel over it now. And so we'll have that question as it pertains to the NFL draft today. But where we got to start this bad boy off, there's a lot of people in Moda Center last night, and the biggest stars in the game right now are in one spot. Danny and Dusty on the Fan.
Hello, sports fans, and welcome to Prime Time.
I understand.
Ever since he went to his metal teeth, he's
Yeah.
Pre-Life of Pablo. Life of Pablo
There
and
you go.
pre.
Yeah,
Slap.
there we go. There we go. There we go. But Kim Mulkey right there talking about the death grip that she gave to Caitlin Clark, the back of her neck, and pulled her in tight after the game. She told her how much she appreciated Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, LSU, and Iowa absolutely hate. It is more for fans than any sports. And look, for that 40 minutes that they fractured, and they are blown out of proportion. Vest talk,
Yeah.
back and forth. Angel Reese giving the "you can't see me,"
And then
pointing to the
pointing
ring
the
finger.
finger.
Those things. The fans are like, I hate her. I hate her. It's like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Like, we've been friends this and that hate in your heart that you love so much.
I like a
Danny.
little hate in the heart.
But I think what we saw last night, that was more UConn and USC. That was because they were players that you knew. Watkins, and I always want to call her Smith
Yes.
Schuster, because USC has got the only people I've ever seen named Juju.
They have the market cornered on Jujus.
And how Juju Bees is not trying to get back in the candy game with Juju Watkins and Juju Smith-Schuster is beyond me. Maybe because it's very hard candy that hurts your teeth. But you saw stars take center stage. Think of it in the men's. We're going to the men's Final Four. It's this Saturday. DJ Burns
Mm-hmm.
is really the only star that we have on the men's side in the bracket. You have good players.
Edie.
Klingen. Oh, Edie.
Yeah.
Edie.
Edie's your star.
Edie. You have DJ Burns and Edie.
Yeah.
Klingen.
No.
No.
Castle. No.
No. I mean, Grant Nelson.
No.
He's got a mustache, which is cool.
But this is also a big part of this is how long has Caitlin Clark been in school?
4 years.
How long has Angel Reese been in school?
4 years.
Paige Beckers.
I think she's going back for year 5 next
Yes.
year. She said she's going back for year 5 next year.
And so you have familiarity.
Yeah.
None of the people that are at the top of the game in college basketball right now, with the exception of Edie, have been around and been at their schools. Like, let's look at Tennessee. Dalton Connect. Yeah, he's a upperclassman, but he just got to Tennessee this year. He was at Northern Colorado. So you don't have those kind of lines and those storylines and those rivalries that build up over time. But you also don't have the same thing that college basketball has on the men's side, which is the flattening of competition. In the women's side, it's still UConn, it's still Iowa, it's still LSU, it's still South Carolina, it's still Stanford, it's still Notre Dame. It's 6, 7, 8 teams that regardless of what happens, they're going to be there. Come Elite 8 time, that the group. It's very, 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 very rare that it deviates. Now, we've gotten past at least UConn and Tennessee. It was just 2. Now there's 10.
Yeah.
12 maybe. But it continues to grow and grow a little bit more and grow a little bit more. USC is kind of a new team to the fore, kind of returning to what their roots were. That adds another team in the mix. You just start going down the list, and you're going, what does this look like in 10 years?
What's really fascinating to me is, in 10 years, will we be seeing the WNBA's marketability of players? Because here's the thing about women's college basketball is that this is their marketing. Like, this is it.
Yes.
In college. When college women's basketball, you are more marketable there than you are in the WNBA. Whereas in the NBA, we will know more of the players that are in college right now once they get into the NBA. And that it's so backwards, where college is more marketable than the professional sport, and it's even the highest level in the world, right? The WNBA is the highest level of women's basketball in the world.
The only difference is that unless in this, I think we're going to see this change, or not even change, revert back. Next year's college class, we didn't watch college basketball at all, collectively as a country on the men's side. It was not something that was watched. You will see ESPN, Fox, whoever else, they will have every single Duke game will be must-see TV.
Just shove it down your throat.
It is going to be Zion all over again because of Cooper Flagg and Colin Malik. Rutgers is going to get a crap ton of TV appearances because of their recruiting class. And there's going to be so much more. The easy way to look at this, the NBA was putting Victor Wembanyama's exhibitions and French games on the NBA app. They were building him up before they got there. But the men's game just didn't do that this year because they looked around and went, nah, we're good.
No, yeah.
They're like, the juice isn't worth the squeeze here. Let's just kind of let this thing play out. But I think you're going to see that come back around as some generational stars return to college. At least that's the theory.
And getting them to stick around is huge.
Yeah.
Getting them to stick around is going to be the big part. And even like DJ Burns, he's a Winthrop guy.
Mhm.
I saw this graphic of starting fives for each of the Final Four teams and where they started.
Mhm.
NC State does not have a single guy that started at NC State on in their starting five.
Mhm.
Tennessee has got, I think they lead the way with 3, but or that was the lead 8. Their best player was a Northern Colorado transfer. Dalton Connect. In UConn, I think they are now in the Final Four. They're leading the way, and I think they only have like 2 guys.
Klingon and Castle.
That started at UConn, and they're going to be playing in the Final Four.
I think those are your only 2.
You have one and dones, and then the fact that a lot of coaches have gotten wise, and even though recruiting has gotten so much better and so much accessible for coaches to see players, late bloomers in basketball,
it's a real thing.
It happens so much because guys grow into their bodies. They become more coordinated again. Sometimes you have a kid who grows, does the Anthony Davis where he grows 9 inches in a year, but he's not able to keep it all together and go from being a point guard to a center.
Yeah.
With ease. A lot of these guys, sometimes it takes a while for them to grow into their bodies. Well, now the good coaches in college basketball are identifying that talent, going and finding those guys from the Big Sky,
from the Duquesnes, from the Holy Crosses, from in the Northern Colorado.
Yeah, or going down to Jacksonville State and plucking a guy out, or Winthrop. Yep. If you're NC State, and you're able to get those guys to plug and play almost immediately,
and you don't have to worry about the development timeline, because they're developed, and you're basically bringing in the hired guns, and it's so much simpler. Bringing in hired guns in football is different. It's 11 on 11. There's so many more moving parts, integration. Basketball, if a dude is a dude, and he fits your system, like look at Marquette. If you're Shaka Smart, you find a guy at a JUCO. A perfect example, if you go back, Tom Crean finding Jimmy Butler as a JUCO guy, and then coming to Marquette. Finding Wes Matthews, or you just kind of go down a list of guys that, like, you target a particular type of player, and you just go find the upperclassmen, because those guys are all looking now, the way things are with the way the transfer portal and NIL, they're all looking to move up.
Yeah,
that's kind of how the process goes. You start at a smaller school and you work your way up. On the women's side, that dilution has not happened. So you still have the stars pretty much on the same teams, but man, did they show out last night.
They really did. It was riveting, and it was good games too. Now, the Iowa and LSU game, I thought as far as gameplay goes, Caitlin Clark went for 40, and she was electric shooting the ball. Her ability to dish and find open players,
carved them up.
That was incredible to watch. Watching LSU and Angel Reese and Felicia Johnson.
Yeah.
They were in Haley Van Lith too. Haley Van Lith's the 3rd best player on their team, and she was like a prodigy coming out of high school.
The best part about last night
that game was sloppy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was not a clean, like we were watching. I was watching, especially earlier. You were going, "What in the world is going on?" But then they settled in that second half,
and it was great basketball.
It was back and forth, and it was great basketball. I thought the UConn USC game, that game was way more clean and way more of a better basketball game.
It was tight.
Even though UConn ballooned that lead out to 12, USC came storming back. Like it was riveting to watch too. But that LSU Iowa game, you saw that the magnitude of it early. You could see it had them rattled at the beginning of that game.
If the thing you want to go, if you want to champion women's sports and women's college basketball in particular, how it was successful last night? It's not just the ratings. It's that Haley Van Lith was getting cooked all over social media, just like any other dude who gets fried. When Luka walks somebody up to the line and says, "You're gonna be my B tonight, and I'm gonna drop 40 on your head." I mean, Haley Van Lith even gave a Jordan shrug of like, "What am I supposed to do?"
Yeah.
But
there
the-
was nothing she could
But
do.
that was the cool thing last night is I saw very few people getting mad that Haley Van Lith was getting cooked. That's the equality you're looking
That's
for.
it. That's the progress.
I know it sounds dumb, but it genuinely is because it's being discussed in the exact same manner of the men's game. Because you're highlighting greatness and you're cooking somebody who got cooked by that greatness. That's how this works.
I like that. I like that a lot. And at the end, we got Kim Mulkey.
I said, girl, you something else.
That drop is gonna live.
I hate that she's
The
got
next time
a
we
fun
get it,
voice.
next time we get a new hot.
I said, girl, you something else.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Van Lith.
Seriously, I hate.
I said, girl, you something else.
Tell me she doesn't have a great voice.
She does.
It's so frustrating.
She does. She does. All right, 503-864-6326. That is Vancouver Ford text line. Your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. Visit them online at vancouverford.com. The YouTube stream is back up and running. You can watch youtube.com/1080 AM The Fan and be a part of the chat. We got new graphics and everything. Looks pretty cool.
Looks pretty solid.
Looks pretty cool.
You're welcome.
I don't, well, for getting it back up and running, thank you, Will. The graphics.
That one you should thank Joey.
Thank you, Danny. Well, what are we thanking you for?
You should just thank someone.
Oh,
I didn't say
thanks,
thank
Will. I'm
me.
gonna thank Danny. He's our graphics.
You should.
guy.
I didn't say you should thank me.
He's our
I just said
package
you
guy.
should say you're welcome.
I do handle all the packages around here.
Mhm.
Good package getter, huh?
There you go. All right. Good. Hey, great showing on the women's side. That was a lot of fun. We had a ton of fun last night watching women's college basketball, and I think you hit it right on the head there with the fact that they are around and you have that name recognition starting.
Mhm.
Like the next one's going to be Juju Watkins.
Oh yeah,
She's going to be, and next year it's also going to be Paige Becker's
yeah,
coming
'cause
back.
she's coming back.
She can hoop.
Yeah.
I mean,
Turns out, number one recruit that everybody talked about for years, who got sidelined by back-to-back crippling injuries, really good.
Gino Oriemo was right.
Yeah.
He's like, no, she's probably the best all-around basketball. Like Caitlin Clark is electric
She's the best
offensively.
offensive player in the country, and maybe the best offensive player in the women's game ever.
They're going to hunt her
Yeah,
in the
defensively.
WNBA.
But they said the same thing about Steph.
And it doesn't matter if you can fill it up. And she is her basketball IQ is so high. She is so smart and such a great passer too that
Women don't pull from
it's
30.
not- It's
Dusty.
not going to be a problem in the WNBA. They're going to
That's-
hunt her defensively, but it ain't going to be a problem her being
She,
able to
she
score.
pulls from 30 feet. Like she pulls like Dame and Steph, and that is going to break the
All
women's
right.
game. It's going to be very fun.
I hope it is. I hope it is. All right. We may get an MVP back tonight.
Ooh.
How much does it mean? Next on The Fan. went down with his meniscus flap, which is why did we call it the meniscus? Every meniscus tear is a flap.
Because Philadelphia is very dumb, and they're trying to obfuscate the idea that Joel Embiid was having another surgery, which, shockingly, the guy that has had a million surgeries had more surgeries. More on this at 9.
No way. No way. No way.
Just so dumb.
Well, after 41 games rehabbing and on the mend, Joel Embiid shall return for the Philadelphia 76ers. They went 14-27 without him, which, to be quite honest, that's probably better than I thought that Philly would do over that 41-game stretch.
Yeah.
And you think about how good they have been with him and what he means to that team. They're 26-8.
They're dominant.
With him. He is a force of nature in the NBA. What do we expect, though, out of this Embiid return with just 7 games to play in the regular season? Because we can call this what it is. It's a ramp up to the playoffs, and how much can he get back before you hit the postseason? Because we see the beginning of every season, there's a ramp up for Joel Embiid too. I mean, even with a training camp and an offseason working towards the beginning of the season, now you have 41 games out. January 30th, the last time he played, we're over 2 months of him on the sidelines.
The important thing here that you're mentioning is that he has done ramp ups. He's not unfamiliar with how to return from an injury. Like, it sounds stupid to say, but
really good point.
He has experience doing this. So he knows how to pace himself. He knows how to get himself ready. Tim Bontemps is at the game, and he said this morning Embiid was not at shoot-around in Oklahoma City. So perhaps he does not go tonight. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go with this, or if they're going to WWE him, and it's ba-ba-da-ba, and Embiid makes his return out there. I wouldn't be surprised. Joel Embiid likes him a nice little return.
He's not a stranger to the spotlight.
No. But the thing is here, I believe they have one set of back-to-backs, which I would almost guarantee he does not play in, because they're not going to push through that. But this is about him ramping up. They've got a game against Miami coming up, and that will be a big game because of where they are in the standings. If they can win that game and get to the very top of the play-in standings, I believe they're 7th right now.
They are 8th.
8th. So there you go. They're
just a half game back. Or no, game and a half.
But if they win a game directly against the Heat, it will flop. It's as good as 2 games. So you drive them down 1, you pick up 1. So if they can win that game and also kind of get going here and get to the top of that bracket, because they can't make 2.5 to get back to 6th.
In 7 games.
That's tough. I mean, you need a lot of help there. But either Miami has a game or Philadelphia has a game against the Pacers. But regardless, you don't see the Bulls or the Hawks getting there. But if you can get yourself in a position where it's a bit more favorable for you, that's really all you're looking to do. And then
Indy
get ready for playoffs.
Indy has OKC and the Heat this weekend. The 5th and the 7th. They play OKC and then Miami back-to-back. And then they also have Cleveland on the schedule.
And Cleveland is currently sitting number 3 right now, just a half game in front of the Knicks.
Those games are going to matter.
Yeah, you've got some games that matter down the stretch here. That's what's really important as far as the NBA is concerned. As far as Joel Embiid is concerned, it's going to be interesting to see, number 1, how many games he plays, number 2, how many minutes he plays, number 3, how effective he can look, because when he went down, he was at an all-time scoring mark in the sense of points per minute. He was ahead of Wilt Chamberlain's record point per minute pace. That's the level of effectiveness he was at offensively. He was playing, I want to say, 32.5, 33 a night, and he was absolutely, he was the MVP. He was the MVP until he went down. So can he get back to 90% of that? Because the one thing that Joel Embiid has never been is healthy in the playoffs. This might be the closest he's been to being healthy because he hasn't played the last 40 games.
Isn't that crazy?
So he doesn't have to wear, look.
He's missed half a season.
Not only that, Joel Embiid, when he was drafted 3rd overall, I've talked to a couple different decision makers around the league about that draft. Joel Embiid would have gone number 1 10 times over if not for his medicals. I was told by 3 different scouts that saw his medicals that he had 3 red flags. 3 red flags on his medicals, which is unheard of.
Well, and it's probably the 3 injuries that he's had, which is foot, knee, back.
Ding, 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 ding. But talent-wise, he would have gone ahead of everybody leaps and bounds based on projection. But also, in the same vein, if you told every GM that they would have gotten what they got out of Joel Embiid so far, based on those medicals, that they would have gone back and taken him no matter what, because the risk was worth it.
Well, it was, and I think the reason why is because Greg Oden was just a handful of years before him who had all of those red flags as well, except for, I mean, a little bit different when you have a leg that is, what,
An inch and a half
inch and
longer.
a half shorter than the other. I mean, that's a pretty big one that you can't
But
overlook.
he didn't
there,
have
but-
any actual injuries, though.
But I think that is where it's broken hand.
Yeah,
Remember,
well,
broken hand.
yeah.
Broken hand.
Yeah, remember he played
big-ass hand.
left-handed and shot 75% from the free throw line, left-handed. That's how talented he
That's who
was.
the Blazers need to hire. Greg Oden to come in and work with Moses Brown. He's like, I can do it left-handed. You can do it right-handed.
Yeah,
Come
but-
on, let's
I
go.
mean, that's the problem. Is Moses needs to shoot left-handed.
It would be better than what we're seeing right now. But it is kind of weird that I do believe that Greg Oden, it was lurking in the minds of executives as he was getting. Oh God,
Yeah.
They're going to be watching these next 7 games and going,
Who's where?
what Joel Embiid are we going to be getting? Because if you do get a healthy Joel Embiid, you're looking at upset potential through and through.
Yeah, I mean, look at what the Heat did out of their play-in run last year. They showed that anybody can be viable if you're hot and healthy.
True.
The interesting thing was, as it pertains to the Heat,
Girl, you something else.
Hot and ready.
hot and healthy.
Hot and healthy.
Hot and ready.
Jimmy Butler.
Girl, you something
the
else.
the plate that you pick up at the grocery store.
Mm.
A little hot and ready. But Brian Windhorst and Jorge Sedano on the Hoop Collective yesterday mentioned that if Miami doesn't do well in the playoffs and Jimmy Butler has a potential player option issue, that there may be some noise there. You'd hate to see Jimmy Butler ask out of Miami.
And nobody could ever see this happening.
No.
Oh my goodness.
A real you hate to see it situation.
Well, he's never done it before.
Never. He never absolutely embarrassed the other franchise centerpieces and then left the building
He
to
would-
go to go do a live interview where he talked about beating the crap out of those teammates and calling them soft as baby.
Yeah, he'd never do that.
Which
Still one
that
of the
needs
greatest
more
stories.
respect.
Oh God.
Jimmy Butler taking on the third string in a crop top. He cut his practice jersey into a crop
And he
top.
cut the Timberwolves logo out of the shirt and shorts.
And then with the